in the accounting theory, this is course unit. So we are still discussing on approaches for accounting theory construction. And from this, we have discussed a little bit. Uh, Basically, accounting theory approaches can be divided into three groups. First one is traditional approach. Under traditional approach, there are two. Non-theoretical approach, it's called a pragmatic approach, and theoretical approach. Under theoretical approach, we have discussed these six approaches. So deductive approach, inductive approach, ethical approach, sociological approach, economic approach, and eclectic approach. So we have discussed in more detail about deductive approach. So deductive approach, we tried, already we have a sort of assumption, we have already some kind of hypothesis in our mind. Now we collect the data, we observe the data, and we try to prove or reject something. It's called deductive approach. We want to verify or falsify a theory. Inductive, so at the beginning there is no theories, and we collect the data, and we observe the phenomena, and from the observation we find a common pattern or a common theme. Based on that, we form a hypothesis and develop a theory. Ethical approach, rather than right or wrong, rather than saying right or wrong, it is about what is good and not good, right? So there's a huge difference, right? So good, so right or wrong, it's a black and white, right? What is right, what is wrong, it's black and white. But ethical means, rather than saying it's good or it's rather than saying right or wrong, it says good or bad. And sociological approach, we develop theories based on the sociological perspectives, based on the sociological well-beings. And economic approach is based on the uh, things economic, they are considered more on economic perspectives. And eclectic approach mean, so they choose the best one. So we have discussed in detail in the last class about a traditional approach, especially a theoretical approach. Now we will start with regulatory approach, and new approaches. Under new approaches, we will discuss about event approach, behavioral approach, predictive approach, and positive approach. Now we will discuss about regulatory approach. We start from here. We start from regulatory approach. Regulation. In accounting, what is regulation? The regulation is, in Sri Lankan perspective, Sri Lanka accounting standards and Sri Lanka auditing standard, Sri Lanka financial reporting standard. So these are the regulations to be followed when dealing with accounting issues. When report accounting transactions, in Sri Lankan perspective, we have to follow accounting rules, Sri Lanka accounting standard, Sri Lanka financial reporting standard. So these are the regulations. Then who are the regulators? Regulator means who form this kind of regulations. In Sri Lanka Accounting and Auditing Standard and Monitoring Board is the body, is the board which is the regulating body. So they form regulations. The Sri Lanka Accounting Auditing Standard Board, Monitoring Board, is functioning with Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. And in international point of view, you know, the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, and International Accounting Standard, IAS. So which are international regulations, who is responsible to form this kind of regulations in international perspective with regard to IFRS, that is International Accounting Standard Board, IASB, International Accounting Standard Board, and Financial Accounting Standard Boards, FASB. These are the regulating bodies. They are forming and implementing financial regulations. That is called accounting standard. When we talk about public sector accounting in Sri Lanka, they have to follow financial regulations. It is published by Ministry of Finance. But our scope is on corporate accounting, company accounting, corporate business accounting. We have to follow accounting standards, especially in Sri Lankan context, Sri Lankan accounting standard, who is authorized to introduce that kind of regulations. Sri Lanka Accounting and Auditing Standard Monitoring Board. So this is as an approach. This is accounting theory developing approach. So many of us now consider this is to be an approach to accounting theory. Sometime, not sometime, most of the time, you also thinks that Sri Lanka Accounting Standard, LKS, SLFRS are the accounting theories. That's not wrong, right? Many of us now consider this is to be an approach to accounting theory. That's true, okay. Because we are following LKS and SLFRS now, it's okay, it's good. Now hold this view, because in international perspective, right? International Accounting Standard Board, not IASB, right? It should be IASB. International Accounting Standard Board standards not seem to be based on the board relevant principles, but they have been developed as a solution to current conflict that arise in our efforts to provide useful information to users. So why do they have introduced this kind of regulations? Why they have to introduce this kind of accounting standard? The ultimate objective is to solve problems. It's try to give solutions how to deal with a transaction. How to deal with transaction in case of uh, depreciation of assets. How do we treat the accounting transaction? And in case of sales, credit sales, in case of revaluation, in case of consolidation, right? So these are the issues. For that kind of issues, as a solution, the accounting standard board regulators introduce kind of standard as a solution. Ultimately, this solution help us to help us to prepare a financial statement which can help to provide information to the decision makers. So, but they have been developed as a solution to the current conflict that arise in our efforts to provide useful information to users. Imagine that if we don't have any accounting standards, so how do we prepare financial statements? It seems like in small business mean retail shops. How do they prepare statements? How do they find the profit and loss? How do they evaluate assets and liabilities? So everybody has their own rules. But in case of companies, it's a public entity, so they should follow the rules, regulations. That is what accounting standards. The company is not like a small retail shop in our area, in our villages. So they have to provide useful information to the users to take decisions. So in simple term, we can say the accounting standards guides accountants to prepare a financial statement for the purpose of providing useful information to take decisions. So each and every event, accounting standards are guide accountants. In fact, they might argue that new standards are created only if a particular user complains about misinformation or non-information. So time to time, the regulators are developing new standards. So when they introduce new standard, when they develop new standards, actually, if the existing standard is not suitable to solve the existing problem, or if the management, if an accountant try to miscommunicate the things, an event or transaction, that time the users may complain about this issue to the regulators. There may be files cases in the court, and the court will guide the accounting standard boards, regulators. So based on the issues, based on the complaints, they are introducing new accounting standards. But there are questions to consider if we do adapt this approach to the development of accounting theory. So in this uh, approach, there are many questions. The main these questions focus on whether we should adapt a free market approach to the regulation, or private sector regulatory approach, or public sector regulatory approach. So there are many options: free market approach, private sector regulatory approach, public sector approach. Say small retail shop in village, they have a different approach. And public sector, private sector, you see companies, they have, they are following accounting standards, especially its regulators are the Sri Lanka Accounting and Auditing Standard Monitoring Board. They are responsible on that, but they are not responsible on public sector accounting. In public sector accounting, they are following the financial regulations introduced by Ministry of Finance. So there are so many questions. So, this regulatory approach is also one that tend to identify solution to difficulties. This regulatory approach is also one that tend to identify solution to difficulties that have occurred in our reporting, rather than providing us with a theory that anticipates the issues. So it's clear that The accounting standards is developed to find a solution for the existing problems occurs arises in accounting. When we prepare financial statement, when accountants prepare a financial statement, they the accounting standards guide them how to handle each and every transaction and events with regard to accounting business. But it is not responsible, it is not encouraged to predict, and it is not encouraged to anticipate future issues. In our reporting, rather than providing us with the theory that anticipate the issues. So when we talk about International Accounting Standard Committee Foundation, it has two branches: International Accounting Standard (IASB). Under that, International Financial Reporting Interpretations Committee, and side Standard Advisory Council. So this for your understanding purpose how regulatory bodies are engaged in developing accounting standards. Now we move to a new approach. Now we are here. The third approach, new approach. Under that, we have to discuss about event approach, behavioral approach, predictive approach, and positive approach. New approach. So this attempt to use both conceptual and empirical reasoning, logic, concept, it incorporate both concept, a theory, and empirical reasoning. Empirical means, so based on the observation, we match the observation to the theory or concept. So new approach. So this attempt to use both conceptual and empirical reasoning to formulate and verify an accounting framework. These approaches are event approach, event, something, so a transaction is an event, a transaction. A behavioral approach, human information processing, predictive approach, and positive. So these are the 5 approaches in the new approaches. So event approach, we'll discuss first about event approach. Event, what do you mean by event? A transaction. Credit sales is an event. Credit purchase is an event. Get a loan from a bank, it's an event, right? So this approach is developed based on this kind of events. It's mean, so they are providing informations on a particular event, right? So this approach was developed in 1969 by George Sauter and was defined. So see how he has defined the event approach. Start from here. Providing information about relevant economic events that might be useful in a variety of decision models. So therefore, in this definition, we can find the most important thing is, so objective of this approach, event approach, is to provide information. So this kind of incident has been happened. It is not take any decisions. Event approach not take any decisions, rather it helps to make decisions. As an accountant, we have to communicate about the event. Accountants are not taking decisions according to this approach. They are communicating the event to the decision makers. So providing information about economic event that might be useful in a variety of decision models. So the event approach leaves the users to aggregate and assign weights and values to the event. You know, accountant does not have a decision making authority here. Accountant just informs the event. The accountant just communicating about the event to the users, and the users will decide whether this event is useful to us or not, right? So accountant, what their duty is, what the duty of the accountant is, the duties of the accountants are communicating each and every transaction. So that's why we are recording each and every transaction. So on Monday, on this date, what's the sales, what's the purchase, right? How much credit sales, how much credit purchase, how much depreciation, how much petty cash expenses, how much admin expenses, how much interest expenses. So accountant reports every events, but user decides on which events we have to more concentrate. So that's what it says. The event approach leaves the users to the aggregate users to aggregate and assign weight and values to the event. The accountant would only provide information. Again, it emphasizes. Accountant would only provide information on the economic event to the user. He would not assume a decision model. Accountant cannot decide which one, which event is more important, which event is not important. He can't decide, but he have to provide information. This incident has occurred. This transaction has occurred. So that the things they have to communicate. They should provide information, not the decision make. Thus, for example, in the event approach, income statement. So I take income statement would not indicate the financial performance. Sometimes we call the income statement as statement of financial performance. We can say, we can put the name, but actually what it does, income statement would not indicate the financial performance in a period, but would communicate the events that occurred during the period without any attempts to determine a bottom line. So when we take the income statement, the purpose of the user is to assess the performance. In the user's point of view, if I am a shareholder, I can read this income statement to assess the performance. But in accountant's point of view, they are communicating the events. They are not going to interpret. Accountants are not going to interpret. Accountant communicate how much how much gross sales, how much cost of sales, how much gross profit, how much admin expenses, how much sales expenses, how much net profit, how much tax. So this kind of things they will communicate. Accountant's point of view, they have to inform that thing in summarized form. So they have summarized the events and inform to the users, and users may use that income statement to assess the performance of the company, right? You see a sales, in case of sales, so outflow of goods, and case receipt, no case receipt, so inflow of money. So it has dual for the incident of sale. it has a duality, double entries, no? And in at the time of cash receipt, collect from customers and receive from cashiers, right? So this it's what they are communicating the events. What are the events has occurred here? These are the events, right? These are the events, right? The accountant should communicate about the events. Accountant are not decision makers according to events approach. Now here, behavioral approach, behavior. You know, uh, even though accountant is a position, he's a human, no? He has some kind of behavior, some kind of complexity behavior as a human. So even though accountant is a position, responsible position, he's a basically he is a human. So therefore, the accountant has their own behaviors, and some accountants are very keen to communicate with people, where they are very transparency. They are more transparency to others. They are maintaining a good relationship with others, other officers. So this is one kind of behavior. So there you may find very rarely some accountants, they are not talk too much, they are not smiling each other, they are not transparent, he always hiding the things, they have some kind of hidden agenda, but both of them are accountants, but they have behave in different ways. Some accountants are more matured and more socialized person. Some accountants are not that not, not that matured level, maturity. So it's a behavior, no? It's a behavior of accountant. The behavioral approach attempts to take into account human behavior as it relates to decision making in account. Decision making in accounting. You may observe for the same issue, two different accountants interpret the things in two different ways. For one incident, the two accountants interpret in two different ways. We can observe this kind of things in practical life. So when a government proposes a new budget in the parliament, we can observe there are so many arguments. Some arguments supporting the budget, some arguments are opposing the budget, but the budget is one, but the views are different. Likewise, for some issues, for certain issues, a different accountants are approaching a different way. It is based on the behavior of the accountant, the what's called kind of behavior, right? Anchoring, mental accounting, loss aversion, herd behavior, overconfidence. This kind of mental things, psychological things will impact on that. So it's talk about the accountants, right? So Divine 1960s states that on balance, in general, it seems fair to conclude that accountants seems to have waded through their relationship to the intricate psychological network of human activity with a heavy-handed crudity that is beyond belief. Right? You know, some accountants, so they have some social relationship with others. Sometimes they may uh, misuse, or sometimes they may behave in unmatured ways. So accountant is human, no? So he may So he may have some relationship with others, so they have some kind of immature way, immature behavior. He may made something wrong, or something is kind of errors, right? It's a human nature. It's acceptable. It is not that much serious. It's a human. But as an accountant, so some degree of crudity may be excused in a new discipline. Okay, as a human, we can accept this kind of behavior. But failure to recognize that much of what passes as accounting theory is hopelessly unvetted with unsupported behavior assumption is unforgivable. You know, as a human, we can accept some kind of unmatured ways, unmatured things. Say he's not smiling well, he's not my talking well, right? He's taking many leaves in his office, right? He may disclose some information to his uh, close people. He may disclose some information to his friend only. He behave in a biased manner. As a human, we can accept. We can give some excuse, but if he is placed on accounting theories, accounting concepts, say sales occurred for 1 million, but he has recorded as a 10 million. Is it acceptable as an accountant? Can we accept it? No, we can't accept. We can't give excuse. So last year he has done a depreciation on a straight line method. This year he is going to do the depreciation in reducing balance method. Is it acceptable? No. Sales should be credited into the ledger, but he is debit to the sales account. Is it acceptable? No. So as an accounting profession, if we do anything opposed to accounting theories, accounting concept, it is not acceptable. It is unforgivable. It is unforgivable. But other human behaviors, human things can be excused, right? Right? He's not smiling, he's not talking. This kind of things are human nature. We don't worry about it. But if the accountant plays on basic accounting concepts, accounting theories, it is this kind of behaviors are not forgivable, not acceptable. So this to us seems a fair comment. Given that financial reporting is about communicating information to the users to enable them to make decisions. So whatever the things, the ultimate objective of the financial reporting is to provide information. The financial statements are the means of communications. It's kind of language. Accounting is a language. The accounting reports are used to communicate information to the users to take timely decisions. Right? Timely decision. A lack of consideration of how that information influences the behavior is indeed forgivable, unforgivable. The lack of consideration of how that information influences the behavior is indeed unforgivable. Sometimes the accountant purposely misprepared the financial statements. They wanted to hide some information to the users. So this kind of activities are not acceptable. Misstatement, financial misstatement, this kind of things cannot be acceptable. He makes some fraud things in the statements. he communicate their events, he communicates the accounting transaction in wrong way, improper way. So that may misguide the decision makers. So sometimes actually the company is facing losses, but he tried to show the users as the company performs well and earning more profit. So this kind of misinformations, right, enable makers decision. A lack of consideration of how that information influences their behavior is indeed unforgivable. Studies in this area have tended to concentrate on the adequacy of disclosure, the appropriateness of disclosure of accounting information, usefulness of financial statement data, an attitude about corporate report practices, materiality judgment, a decision effects of alternative accounting practices. So now new researchers are focused on this area under the behavioral approach. So let us take a materiality judgment. Materiality judgment. Materiality judgment. So what do you mean by materiality? Right. We have a small discussion with you, right? Assume that one of your friend take a loan rupees 100 from you, and he promised that he will return the money in 2 days. Will you ask that 100 rupees? Will you ask? Please respond. Please unmute your mic and please respond. For the purpose of understanding, I am asking this question to explain the term materiality. So, do you ask this money from your friend after after due date?